10 Stoic Principles to never lose your calm with anyone. I was just tired of letting the smallest things ruin my day. A rude comment online, a missed deadline, getting cut off in traffic. It felt like my own peace of mind was a hostage, held captive by other people's moods and things I couldn't control. I was constantly reacting, and it was exhausting. So, I tried an experiment. For 1 week, I challenged myself to live by 10 ancient Stoic principles, a philosophy designed to build an unshakable inner calm. This way of thinking was practiced by everyone from emperors to slaves, and it promises that the key to tranquility isn't changing the world around you, but mastering the world within you. This is the story of how I stopped letting everyone and everything get under my skin. Here are the 10 principles that changed everything for me. And if you find this journey helpful, consider subscribing. We're all about exploring timeless wisdom for modern problems. Now, let's get into it. Principle 1. Focus only on what you can control. The very first rule of Stoicism is called the dichotomy of control, and it's a game changer. The philosopher Epictetus put it simply, some things are up to us and others are not. What's up to us? Our judgments, our intentions, our actions. What's not? Well, pretty much everything else, what people think of us, the weather, the economy, and the final outcome of our efforts. The path to serenity starts right here, pouring all your energy into what you can control and learning to accept the rest. My first test came on Monday morning. I was heading to a big meeting when my train was cancelled. My old self would have instantly panicked. I could feel my heart rate climb and my mind racing to find someone or something to blame. But then I made myself pause and apply the principle. I asked myself, what can I actually control in this moment? Not the train, not the frustrated crowd. The only things I had power over were my own thoughts and my next move. So I took a breath, stepped away from the crowd, and pulled out my phone. I couldn't control the train, but I could control my response. I sent a calm message to my team, letting them know I'd be late, found a bus route, and used the extra travel time to review my notes. The situation was the same, but my experience of it completely changed. By focusing on my actions instead of the event, I swapped anxiety for purpose. It was a small shift, but it felt revolutionary. Principle 2. Pause before you react. The Roman philosopher Seneca once wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The Stoics knew that our first reactions, that flash of anger or fear, are often out of our hands. But we absolutely control what happens next. We can create a space between what happens to us and how we choose to respond. This is all about refusing to be a slave to your impulses. It's about giving your rational mind a chance to catch up. On Tuesday, I got an email from a client that felt incredibly unfair. My first read told me it was full of accusations and blame. My fingers were literally itching to fire back a defensive reply. I could feel my jaw clench and my shoulders tense up. Instead, I thought of Seneca. I closed my laptop. I didn't have to reply right then. I got up, walked to the kitchen, and made a cup of tea. That simple act of creating a pause was more powerful than I could have imagined. It let the initial wave of anger wash over me and disappear. When I came back to my desk 10 minutes later, I could see the email for what it was. It wasn't an attack. It was a message from a stressed-out client who just needed clarity. My response, when I finally wrote it, was calm, helpful, and de-escalated the situation immediately. That little window of delay allowed me to choose a thoughtful response over a knee-jerk reaction, saving my peace of mind and the relationship with my client. Principle 3. Reframe your perception. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This gets to the heart of the third principle. It's not events that upset us, but our stories about those events. A situation is just a situation. It's the meaning we attach to it that causes our suffering. This means you have the power to change your reality by changing your perspective. A setback can be a disaster, or it can be a lesson. The choice is always yours. On Wednesday, during a team meeting, a colleague pointed out a huge flaw in a project I was leading. My stomach just dropped. I felt that hot flush of shame, and my internal monologue started screaming, "He's making you look like an idiot. He's trying to undermine you." 5. Then I remembered the principle. The event itself was neutral. A flaw was found. The pain was coming from my interpretation, so I forced myself to reframe it. Instead of, "He's attacking me," I tried on a new thought. "He's helping us make the project better. His attention to detail is making the whole team stronger." The shift was immediate. My defensiveness melted away and was replaced with gratitude. I looked at my colleague and said, "That's a great catch. Thank you. Let's figure out a fix." The whole vibe in the room changed. I had turned a potential fight into a moment of collaboration just by changing the story in my head. Our perspective is the most powerful tool we have. Principle 4. Own your emotions. Stoicism teaches us to take radical responsibility for our emotions. When we feel angry or annoyed, it's so tempting to say, "You made me angry." But the Stoics argue our feelings come from within, from our own judgments. Saying, "You made me angry" gives your power away. Saying, "I am feeling anger in response to what you did," takes it back. This is about understanding that while you can't control other people, you are the sole governor of your own emotional world. On Thursday, I had plans with a friend who is always, and I mean always, late. As the minutes ticked by, I felt that familiar frustration building. The old me would have sat there stewing, thinking of all the passive-aggressive things I'd say when he finally showed up. But this week was different. I decided to own my emotion. His lateness was his action, outside of my control. My growing frustration, that was mine. It was coming from my belief that he should be on time, and my judgment that his lateness was disrespectful. So, I examined that judgment. Is he trying to be malicious? No. He's just a bit disorganized. My anger was my own creation, so I accepted it. I acknowledged the feeling of frustration without letting it run the show, and then decided to use the time instead of wasting it. I pulled out my phone and read a chapter of a book. When he arrived, apologizing and out of breath, I was perfectly calm. There was no fight. I had already managed my own emotions. I didn't need him to change for me to be at peace. By taking responsibility for my feelings, I had set myself free. Principle 5. Use silence as a form of strength. In a world that seems to reward the loudest voice in the room, the Stoics saw incredible strength in silence. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the best answer to anger is silence. This isn't about being a doormat. It's about showing supreme self-control. Anger needs a reaction to survive. It feeds on argument. Silence starves it of oxygen. Choosing not to engage in a pointless fight is an act of wisdom that protects your energy and your peace. Friday night was family dinner, and sure enough, a controversial topic came up. Immediately, voices started to rise. I felt that magnetic pull to jump in, defend my side, and prove everyone else wrong. It felt like my duty to argue. But then I remembered the power of restraint. I asked myself one simple question: Will adding my voice here lead to understanding or just more conflict? The answer was obvious. No one was listening. They were just waiting for their turn to talk. So I stayed quiet. I listened, but I didn't add any fuel to the fire. It was hard, but as the argument swirled around me, I felt a weird sense of calm, like being in the eye of a storm. My silence wasn't weakness. It was a conscious choice to protect my tranquility. Later, when things had cooled down, I was able to have a calm, one-on-one chat with a family member and actually connect. True strength isn't winning the argument. It's knowing which ones aren't worth fighting. Principle 6. Use kindness to disarm anger. When someone is rude to us, our gut instinct is to fire back. But Marcus Aurelius suggested something radical: respond with kindness. He didn't see kindness as weakness, he saw it as an irresistible force. He believed that gentleness is what makes us human, and responding to aggression with compassion is the ultimate sign of strength. This principle is about seeing another person's anger as a sign of their own pain, and choosing to respond with the one thing that can actually diffuse it. My test for this came during a customer service call. I had a billing error to sort out, and the person on the other end was being incredibly dismissive. With every scripted answer he gave, I could feel my own anger rising. The old me would have demanded to speak to his manager. Instead, I tried the kindness approach. I took a deep breath. "Look," I said, my voice now much calmer, "I can tell you're having a really busy day, and I know this isn't your fault. I'm just getting frustrated with this whole situation and would be so grateful for any help you could give me." The shift was immediate. You could hear the defensiveness leave his voice. He suddenly became my ally, not my opponent, and started actively looking for a real solution. We fixed the problem in 2 minutes. I hung up the phone not feeling drained and furious, but calm and in control. Kindness wasn't just the nice thing to do, it was the most effective thing to do. Principle 7. Accept what you can't change. The Stoics knew that so much of our anxiety comes from fighting reality. We wish things were different. We wish people would act differently. This constant resistance creates friction and stress. The 7th principle is about embracing what the Stoics called amor fati, a love of fate. This doesn't mean being passive. It means fully accepting the events of your life as they are, without wasting energy wishing they were different. It's about letting go of grudges and unrealistic expectations, and finding peace in the here and now. My week was going so well that I started getting attached to how calm I was. Then came Sunday. My plan for a quiet, reflective afternoon was shattered by a neighbor starting loud construction work right outside my window. The noise was horrible, and my hard-won calm was instantly at risk. My first thought was, this is so unfair. My one peaceful day is ruined. I was fighting reality, and it was making me miserable. Then I remembered this principle. The noise is here. I cannot control it. My only choice is whether I spend the rest of the day fuming about it or accept it and adapt. Fighting it would only ruin my day. Accepting it would bring me peace. So I let go. I let go of the perfect, quiet afternoon I had pictured. I accepted the noisy reality, and from that place of acceptance, I could think clearly. I packed a bag, walked to a local park, and did my reading there instead. By accepting what I couldn't change, I saved my afternoon and my calm. Acceptance isn't giving up. It's letting go of a fight you were never going to win. Principle 8. Listen to your body's early warnings. The Stoics were incredible psychologists. They knew our emotions aren't just in our heads, they live in our bodies. Anger tightens your jaw, anxiety speeds up your breath. Stress creates knots in your shoulders. These physical signals are the early warning signs that your inner peace is about to be disturbed. This principle is about paying attention to your body. If you can learn to notice these first physical signs of a negative emotion, you can step in before it completely takes over. Throughout my week-long challenge, I tried to tune into my body. Before this experiment, I'd only notice my anger after I'd already said something I regretted. But now, I was catching it so much earlier. During that frustrating customer service call, I noticed my hand gripping my phone tighter and my shoulders tensing up. That was the physical start of my anger. Recognizing it gave me the chance to consciously relax my hand and take a breath, creating the space I needed to choose kindness. When my colleague pointed out the flaw in my project, I felt that knot form in my stomach. That was the physical signature of shame. Noticing it was the first step toward changing the thought that caused it. This body awareness became my internal alarm system. It gave me those precious few seconds to pause, identify the emotion, and apply another principle before I lost my cool. It taught me that staying calm isn't just a mind game, it's a physical practice. Principle 9. Guard your attention. The philosopher Epictetus warned his students to be ruthless about what they gave their attention to. In today's world, this is more important than ever. Every notification, every piece of gossip, every social media outrage is trying to steal your most valuable resources, your attention and your emotional energy. This principle teaches that not everything deserves a response from you. You have to be intentional about where you invest your focus. Getting sucked into petty drama or pointless arguments is a voluntary surrender of your inner peace. During my Stoic week, I realized how often I was giving my attention away for free, scrolling through angry comment sections, getting pulled into office gossip, letting some news story about people I'll never meet ruin my mood. Applying this principle felt like decluttering my mind. I made a new rule for myself. Before I engage with something, I have to ask, is this truly worthy of my energy? Does this align with my peace? So often, the answer was a hard no. I stopped clicking on the rage bait articles. I politely excused myself from conversations that turned to gossip. I consciously decided that the drama of some celebrity did not deserve even 1 ounce of my emotional reserves. The effect was liberating. By guarding the gates to my mind, I suddenly had so much more energy for the things that actually matter: my work, my family, my own well-being. A calm mind isn't just about how you handle disturbances, but about preventing them from getting in at all. Principle 10. Use gratitude as your reset button. This final principle ties all the others together. The Stoics understood that negative emotions usually come from focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, or what we've lost. Gratitude is the perfect antidote. It intentionally shifts your focus back to what is good, what is present, and what you already have. It isn't about ignoring your problems, it's about balancing your perspective. When you feel that anger or frustration building, pausing to find something you're grateful for can instantly reset your entire emotional state. This became my go-to tool. When the train was cancelled, after I accepted it and figured out my new plan, I took just a second to be grateful that I had a job to go to and 2 healthy legs to walk to the bus stop. When my client's email stung, I countered it with gratitude for having challenging work that pushed me to be better. Each night, I started writing down 3 things from the day that I was genuinely grateful for. This simple habit started to rewire my brain to look for the good. It created this buffer of positivity that made me more resilient. Practicing gratitude didn't make the challenges go away. It just put them in their proper place. It shrunk them down to their real size by putting them in a much bigger, more positive frame. It was the ultimate tool for keeping perspective and the perfect end to a week of practice. Conclusion. So, what did I learn after a week of trying to be a Stoic? I learned that calm isn't something you find, it's something you build. It's the result of daily practice and 1,000 small choices. It's what happens when you decide to take ownership of your inner world, no matter what's happening outside. These 10 principles aren't magic, they're practical tools. They are a workout for your mind. The goal isn't to become emotionless, it's to stop being a slave to your emotions. It's about having the wisdom to know what you can control, and the discipline to focus only on that. My week is over, but this journey is really just beginning. I am far from a perfect Stoic sage, but I'm no longer just reacting to everything life throws at me. I have a toolkit. I have a philosophy. I have the ability to lead myself from within. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these principles hit home the most? Have you tried applying any of these ideas in your own life? Share your story in the comments. Your experience is a huge part of this conversation. Thank you for joining me. If you found value here, please like and subscribe for more explorations into timeless wisdom. And always remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: the nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength. Stay strong,